previous round, he'll just punch him in the forehead twice, and then with his patient defense, so he's not looking forward to getting hit again. That would be the lowest one, 21.
That hits.
Okay. So 8 magical bludgeoning and 6 other fire as again sparks fly out as he. It sounds also as every time he hits the forehead as if he's like just. It reverberates as if he's like hitting a forge.
I think that's a beautiful sound. Yes.
And he'll throw in. We can stop for drinks anytime now.
I will have Thorn go before he responds, but you see he's about to say something.
And
Trask does, yeah.
Thorn, he gets sick of trying to use his bows, and he decides to try and run up close and get into the fight. So he pulls out his masterwork tomahawks and starts running at them and kind of flourishing them as he runs up. And kind of takes a leaping chop at the guy. Let's see here. So, oh my goodness.
Not your night.
And if you'll allow it, the first hit.
Going on?
If you'll allow it, the first hit was about to hit the dwarf, but because it was going to cut in right into the beard, Trask put up a hand to stop the blow.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and they say not the beard.
All right.
Second one will connect.
The first one's blocked by check. The second one is 25. I mean 21.
That it.
21. Okay. So then, as he's a little thrown off by Trask coming in there last minute, and but he still chops down and with his masterwork blade, he just goes for the shoulder of the arm that's holding his mace.
Yeah, you cut into it, but it looks like you kind of just cut through his arm hairs, and just there's a little cut underneath. And your mark, yeah, that too. But it burns a little magical sizzle there. The last as you pull your blade back.
Okay. So is Colossus? I know Hunter's Mark is a bonus action to add it to an attack. Is Colossus Slayer a bonus action, or is that just something?
So the Hunter's Mark is a bonus action just once, so you don't have to keep using it. So you get more of your action back. It's the best spell in the game, but for damage. But the Colossus Slayer is just all your attacks as long as they're below their max hit points.
Okay.
Just
well, then,
always.
So that 5 was actually 11 with the Colossus Slayer and the Hunter's Mark. Sorry.
Got it. Yeah. That sinks in a little deeper.
More arm hairs.
More arm hairs go pinging. And it's up to him, and you hear him cry out again. And give me a intelligence check. Anyone who speaks Dwarven, which for real, not fake speaking Dwarven.
Nope. Common, Elvish, and Orcish.
Is he signing as he does that?
No one's okay. Well, you just were with dwarves for a couple of weeks, so just any intelligence check.
Oh man, I forgot the opportunity to sign attack. It's the one sign I know.
7. It still sounds as drunken gibberish to me.
7 to me. Oh wait,
I got a 16, and I speak Dwarven.
And you understood perfectly well that he said, Just a couple more.
All right.
And I kind of get back on my heels a second, and I'm like, just a couple more. And I look at Trask. I'm like, you doing this on purpose?
And Trask will just shrug
Just dragging this out?
Trask will shrug his shoulder and says, "Well, that's what men do. Just a couple more."
Ari's just gonna kind of. All right. Well, when it's his turn, Ari's probably going to dismiss his guardians. Then.
That's insulting.
Yeah. Well, hey, just a couple more.
So you see him. Wait, did I skip to? No. He was just talking. Okay. So you see him kind of shake off your guardians as they pass through him, and he kind of tosses his mace behind him and into the hut, and he looks over at Thorn for a second, kind of his head tilted just slightly, and then from seemingly nowhere, just out of his wrists, it almost looks like spinning 360s are two very large axes, and he spins them out, grabs them, and then takes a swing at each of you. Well, a couple swings at each of you.
All right.
Well, none of you are fighters. Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice knowing you guys.
So this is with disadvantage on Trask. Ding, ding, ding. So there are. Is that right? Okay, that's it. So 24.
Yeah. Yeah, both hit.
And one of them is a crit. Fantastic. So in kind of a spinning motion, hack, and the other one hacks at Trask, hackety hack. Not Trask, Thorn. He crits you as well. Awesome. So maybe he doesn't need to do that. Yeah, we'll see. He doesn't need to. So here's our crit against Trask and against Trask, Thorn.
Ooh, he just drops me.
Oh, wait. So which one? How much am I dying by?
A lot, because the first one was for me.
No, I
So
switched those.
Hi.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm dropped with... Well, I'm at 0. That's okay.
And you can... These are magical, too. That's true. Thorn's still up. He might be right. You got healed.
How much damage?
For like-
did it-
35.
12 or.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm down. I'm down.
Well, he didn't mean to crit you, but that's what happens, I guess, when I roll like that. And
When he meant a couple more, he just meant I might as well swing a couple more and kill a couple more people.
You're not dead. You're just unconscious.
He looks up. He looks over at Ari like with this big look in his eyes and you hear him say in common, "Oh crap!" As he pulls his axes out of their necks.
That's what I'm here for.
Get to it. Get to
Ari
it.
just says that's what I'm here for.
I didn't mean to hit.
It's just,
Fix him. Fix
well,
him.
I'll fix them. Don't worry about it. They're not dead yet. Ari takes his time getting his stuff together. Lets him bleed a little bit.
No, I didn't mean.
They're not going to die. He does prayer of healing.
Good grief.
So he prays for about 10 minutes. And you guys, I'm telling you how much you get back because I don't want you to start another fight. So 12.
That's actually the sound of Thorn dying in the background.
Oh, I think I forgot.
So,
While he's calculating that, you see, I missed this. Ulrich suddenly appears right in front of him and also gets crit and knocked unconscious, then crawls away. That's his contribution for the moment.
Should have just propped him up in front of the door to begin with.
you guys get 18. You guys get 18. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. And I come out 5 hit points above my maximum hit points. So I'm great, and you guys got that much. And I just kind of look at you scoldingly and say, "Don't go picking any more fights."
And just said, but he said a couple more.
Oh yeah, he got a couple more. Couple more laid you out flat. See how it is. Shame.
And Trask will look at Arion. That is like, have you seen how beautiful his weapons are? There's no shame in falling to that.
Ari rolls his eyes because he knows it's flattery.
No, it's honest. He's in awe.
Flattery can be honest too. But okay.
So Thorn, he's props himself up on a tree and he goes, "So I take it you're Yurik?"
Hi, I'm Rurik. Sorry for, well, the last one. I thought we were, at first, those were all real. But then when I realized that you weren't bastards coming to kill me, I thought we'd just have a bit of fun. And, sorry. Kind of just snapped back into me.
Well,
And Trask will just look sympathetically. He knows the feeling. He had sparring matches like that.
He helps Trask and Thorn up, pulling with very strong arms. Apologies for that, and oh God, is that me?
Yup.
What day is it?
Today.
Tuesday, noon.
You're very helpful.
We also tell him the year.
Day in here. Oh, okay. That's different. Well, here, give me a second. And get yourselves back in order and we can talk about whatever you came here for.
I'm going to take a short rest, indeed.
The Thorn, he calls out to him. If you're going back if you're going back in your hut, if you got anything to take the edge off of this pain here, that'd be fantastic. Maybe a little ale that you've so obviously been enjoying.
Yep. You read in my mind.
Then Thorn kind of sits back down, tries to get comfy, and sleeps for 8 hours. Is that what we're doing?
You have just about a minute to confer amongst yourselves if you want before he comes back out. You hear him.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and use a potion on myself. I have a couple of those.
It tastes delicious.
Have we gotten any potions from Eruvia when we were on the road?
Yeah, we haven't done the consulting for that stuff, but a quick update: no teleporting yet. Though he's getting closer, he thinks. Oh, sorry, things are freezing while I'm opening. From Demrose, he hasn't developed. He's getting closer, but He says he'll
It's
talk to you later about some materials that he could use. Ayuna has been working, and she hasn't been doing any enchanting at this point, but the potions that she's been able to make, she'll keep you. Basically, there'll be the equivalent of 3 healing potions available to each of you a day.
Okay, then is the 2d4 kind of
Yeah,
2d8?
the standard ones.
In which case, I kind of doubled down a little bit.
Glug, glug.
And is it 2d4 net, or is there any
2d4 plus 2.
plus 2? Okay. And if I roll well, I should be. Oh, rolling terribly on that.
Maybe that
But
was
I'm
one of the earlier batches.
Yeah, I'm about.
Clearly.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
We need to talk to her about these.
She used to be better.
You look on the bottle. It says
Alright.
it expired 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But she made him like yesterday.
Now these are the practice ones that she did.
And Ari just looks at you guys. Ari just looks at you guys and see that's what you get when you pay for amateur healing. I'm just saying. You know.
And Trask will give him a really stern look. Don't call Iruvia an amateur. She's really good at
I
what
said
she's
amateur healing. Healing.
And he'll poke Thorn and says, I bet she used his design to make this one. Because I remember her potions to be really potent. Until he joined.
Well, she was making them at the school and their facilities, and now she's making them in the back of a wagon. So maybe just give her a little time.
I say, what do you mean before he joined? That's about the same time I joined.
See, there's your problem right there.
Yeah, maybe she's too distracted with my good looks.
Sure.
That must be what it is.
Right?
Must be what it is.
It happens.
But matter at hand, have you seen how cool those weapons are that he has? That's some level of crafting that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it was really. I saw the mace really up close, and the axe too. I saw those two. The mace in particular did very well.
Maybe he can do something with your axes.
But no, otherwise I did not get a glance inside of this place.
So
And Trask will give him a tissue and say, go look.
And he starts to get up, and he's like, never mind. Just sits back down. He's like, I'll take your word for it.
he emerges just a little bit later with all the weapons that he had, so the 2 axes and the mace in one arm with what looks like a polishing rag. He's holding them all together on one side. And the other side, he's holding what looks like an old, gnarly, and just quite unpleasant looking shoe, like a boot. It's a human-shaped sized boot, not a dwarven one. And he comes clomping over to you guys. And you can sense now that the smell, yeah, it is him a bit, certainly, but there's a very strong odor coming from the shoe.
Ari just steps back a couple paces.
Yeah. Thorin goes, I hope you're not drinking out of that boot.
Yeah, you asked for something to take the edge off. He hands you the boot, or stretches it out in front of you.
Ari says, don't be rude.
Trask will...
Accept the man's hospitality.
Trask will giving the other guys a look of, you should know better than to be rude to somebody that could slaughter us. And he'll take a sip.
Yeah.
All right.
As
Okay.
he kind of pinches his nose and just
Well,
barely tips anything.
let's start with Thorn because it's going to be very specific. This process. Just as you're about to drink down, you see he reaches out his hand and puts it up. Oh, yeah, forgot. And he notices that you're half elf, right? Human. It's like, the wrong one. It's like, for you. And he pulls on one of the strings, so you see like leather latches. There's about 8 of them. And he flips over one of them, and all around you, the smell of kind of a sweet, a bit fruity, bit grape-like smell. And then he pushes it back in your hand.
Oh. Wow. Well, all right. And I certainly appreciate that. And then he goes and takes a drink.
And some fine wine comes down your throat, and it is rejuvenating and intoxicating and glorious. Not a hint of vinegar.
Yeah. Say, who would have thought this shoe was for wearing? Silly me.
Well, share around, and then get to whatever business you've come here for. I think I owe you at least this. When it comes to Trask next, what would Trask care for?
Trask will just drink what he's been given. He's not particular.
Then delicious sweet wine for you.
And he'll pass it to Ari.
Ari does not drink alcohol, but he will accept something else if it makes something else. He doesn't want to appear rude. He will force himself to drink if he has to.
And Trask will, as he hands it to Ari, he'll look at the dwarf and say, "Do you also have a tiefling stand on this one for our friend?"
Tiefling stand.
Yes, well, you had
Just
something special for the human, and I didn't mind. But tieflings are particular in what they eat and drink. Like the first setting, that's more appropriate, I think.
Well, if he thinks
Ari
he can handle
eyes
it.
you.
Oh, I'm sure he can handle it.
And he flips one of the latches, and the horrific smell comes. It's my favorite.
Ari gives him a kind of quick, covert hand sign. You're so gonna catch it tonight. Don't fall asleep. And Ari just looks and says, "Oh, thank you." And he will go ahead and take a drink, a small drink,
Give me a Constitution
and
saving
hand
throw.
it back. Yeah, that's not exactly Ari's best. No, and it's perfect for a teetotaler like Ari because he doesn't drink, so he gets a 2.
Awesome. So a couple things happen. I imagine tieflings is not really having much body hair or facial hair. Well, you do now, and about 2 inches, most places where people normally have it. And you immediately projectile vomit. Like it touches your mouth, and all your food from the day sprays over.
On Trask.
Well, why don't you two roll a dexterity off, and we'll see who gets it.
Is it a dexterity save?
It's a dexterity saving throw.
You get to see who got the faux, who gets the puked on them, the faux rat, faux
Exactly.
lizard, faux whatever.
It all comes full circle this session.
Wait a minute, because we are proficient in that, and I have evasion. So
Now's the time to crunch the numbers.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's see.
19.
I do have escape the horde, so opportunity of attacks are a disadvantage. Does that count?
I'll let you roll yours with advantage then. No, didn't even need it.
Good.
All right, Trask, though you do have evasion, So only one single, like the lizard's tail kind of flaps you in the face, but the rest of it you dodge.
and 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 still, I'll just put up my hand up for a high five towards Thorn. Totally worth it.
Ari will have to talk like Bane for the rest of the session. That is the last caveat. Oh, we lost
So,
that. Adam's like, no way. I'm not talking like Bane. I'm not throwing up. Peace. I'm done with this. Well, that was... Let me give him a second. Oh, you did say there was a storm coming through.
Yeah, he had issues to begin with already.
All right, well, we'll resolve that moment with him when he pops back in. Let me. Well, yeah. Rurik is there. He pats Ari on the back. Yeah, that's about what I expected. And then turns over to Thorn and Trask. So, what do you want?
Well, Rurik, we came here for information, and we were told that you might know more about what happened a couple of years ago between the Black Hand, the Diamond Council, and the clerics.
Oh, lot mess. I was there. I was there in the mess of it. Well, before I say anything, why are you so curious?
Well, you see, we've come into a situation that we're going to have to make some choices based on, well, information we do not have. You see, we have encountered, and because we've traded blows, I trust him more than I trusted anyone here in the city. We've been approached by members of the former Diamond Council and asked to take care of some business here. But before we agree to their to their task, we want to know if we can trust them, if it would be good for the city of Bedrag as a whole to if we help them.
And tell me once again who sent you. Who
That
told you
floppish,
about me?
Oh, Devin said that you would know more about this.
Devin.
Yeah, annoying little guy. Floppish.
Yeah.
Sells bad meat.
Oh, good. I wouldn't be surprised.
I didn't think the meat was that bad.
As Thorn kind of, what the? Looks over at Ari. What the?
He's a slimy little weasel, that one.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to go off his impression alone. He seemed to be a fan, but
Of course he would be. Well, if he came all the way out here and you took your licks, I guess I could tell you the story. I'll try and be brief. I came into town here, just seeing about work, and well, there was this place, this beautiful, wonderful, stupid place, Seaside Metalworks, and there I worked for David, manager that he was, and we lived in, but Drag was ruled by the Diamond Council, and that's true. None of the holy-toly types and divine casters. Yeah, they were suppressed. They weren't allowed to live out in the open or use their strength. But it was peaceful, and I got good work done those years. But, well, things started moving, and the 10th year celebration of the Diamond Council's rule, the Divine Casters, the Restorers, they called themselves, they started getting a little aggressive. Not just them, but the council had a plan in mind to set things in their favor for once and for all. So me and my mates Millark and Rust, we kind of got ourselves embroiled in the conflict, and we decided that we would help the Restorers against the Diamond Council. And we won. But at the cost of Millark and Rust. They died. And not by the hand of the council, bastards that they be. No, it was our own ally, the Pirate Lord. It was he that betrayed us, unsurprisingly. And he's the one who killed Millark and Rust. But not before Millark got him good. You see, he used to have a nice, pretty face. Not anymore. Since that time, I just been here, keeping my head low as things go to hell there. City's a mess. If the council's back, then I don't know. I don't know at this point what. I'd rather just burn the whole place to the ground.
Well, Rurik, thank you for sharing this with us. I think that it's clear that none of that scum is to be trusted, one side or the other. And then I guess that if my colleagues are in agreement, I guess we can take on that Pirate Lord. If you want to help us out and get your revenge on the man, you're more than welcome to join us, Rurik. And talking about joining us, we are members of a caravan that travel all over Dulvash called the Wonder Workers. And I'm sure that if you would want to join us and travel with us, you could apply your craft there. It seems a bit of a shame to see the beautiful weapons you make and having them, well, let's be honest, in this in this town nobody appreciates them as they should be.
You know, I think some of the Wonder Worker caravan man came by probably 7 years ago or something. I was deep in the boot at that time, and it's been hard to come out since. I think about it. After all that, I don't know that I'll have it in my hands to do much good anymore. It would be hard pressed to leave my forge behind.
Oh, we can arrange. We can arrange to take your forge with you. We have spacious carts, so I'm sure we can arrange
The Wonder
it.
Worker works many wonders.
Well, that's a little different, I suppose. Well, what are you fixing to do? Why you come to this town anyway?
Well,
Why you bother or even interested in putting yourself in the middle of all that mess?
With Zero Rick, we have a mission to save Dulvash of terrible evil, and to do that we have to make sure that some bad guys don't get their hands on certain artifacts. And one of those artifacts are here, and that's why we're here. But we're not limiting ourselves to the big plan. Whenever we can help a town, a city to be better, that's what we do. We work our wonders.
Uh-huh. And how's that been going for you?
We're still alive.
I
Get
had
this punched in
ideal.
the face every once in a while.
Yeah, I had those delusions of goodness once myself. But I think I'm best leaving it where it was. Only so many sins you can see gutted in front of you before you just kind of stop giving a crap about a city that doesn't care about you.
And Thorn, he goes, it's not just about Baldrag. It's not about Rod's Holt. It's not about any one city. What we're trying to do here is save a lot more than just that. It doesn't take a good person. We just need the best there is.
Well, that was pretty. Well, if there's something that you're looking for or you're after, and it's important like I'm guessing it is, well, the Black Hand's the scourge of the bloody whatever else he says he is. I just call him Blackface now. Ugly. He gathered up and looted the town good some 10 years ago now. You may have ended up with whatever you're after, or maybe the returners managed to keep hold of things. They've been hidden out down in their under the docks, so to speak, place. They might know.
Does it does the Black Hand the Blackface do they work together with the clerics, or do they work with the divine followers still, or have they each gone their own way?
Well, they did. They worked together to overthrow the council. Enormous, monumental task. We were there, we helped too. But, not anymore. When he killed Malark, he, and let some of the other restorers die. Their relationship was pretty well severed. Now there's just a couple of them left. Not the nicest ones either. I know where they're at. But
Can you show us on the map, Rorik, so that we know where to look for?
he looks over at your map of the city. Alright. You find them in the Mermaid's Maze. There's a tavern there. Called the Gaping Cannon. There's if they still have the same way of seeking them out as they did when we were, finding them for the first time, then you ask for the special drink with extra shavings.
Special drink, extra shavings?
Shavings, yeah.
We don't.
We don't have to drink it, do we?
Yeah, we asked that question ourselves, and, it'll show you the way.
I'm going to have nightmares for weeks.
Just be careful if you do end up doing any of this stuff. You've come to a place where there's no law and order. There's no good, just all madness. So, wish it was easier to do what you have to do. But I don't know that anybody in this town is worthwhile. So you don't feel too bad if you have to crack skulls on all sides. Alright? They all got it coming.
And so, Rurik, if by chance we do need some of your knowledge, or maybe even some use of your craft, is there any particular way that we should come knocking? Because hate to catch you on an off day again.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't really remember what had happened before this one. He points over at Trask. Was walloping me in the forehead in my house. Was it not polite? I guess I wasn't. That's not surprising.
Thorn just kind of gestures vaguely at his face, which is just, I imagine, half of it is just a big welt. Nothing too
Hey, you
bad.
got healed.
Yeah. That is healed from what it was.
Just, I don't know. I'll know you now. We shared cups. We've shared bruises. Well, mostly yours. And, don't worry about it. It won't happen again unless you want to. I mostly just have to drive off urchins and thieves coming down here every now and then. It's been a while since I had a halfway decent phone it.
Yeah, and with that, Trask will just stand up and like give him like a fist to bump. You say, "Don't worry, we'll take care of that blackface. We'll sell him Malark Sets High. And if you ever feel, the need to practice and have some fun, you know where to find us."
Oh yeah, the caravan.
Yep, it's like extra incentive to join us. Like, Trask will fight him every day if needed to be.
All right, I'll keep it in mind. Well, one last thing. The restorers. They were a good group once, but the good ones died or fled off to distant lands. The couple who are left are, when you go down there, be careful. If you go to them. The last two are not quite as pleasant as the others were.
Thank you for the warning.
And don't, I probably should have said this. My shame. Well, I don't know that I'm up for any more of that reliving, but don't underestimate the Pirate Lord by any means. We crafted something for him. We didn't know it was, but it's mighty powerful. And you should be careful.
And what was it that you crafted for him, Rorik?
I'd rather not say. It's my fault. It's our fault that we built it. If we hadn't done it, then things might be different.
Well, I understand that it's painful to think about it, but if you share with us what it was, maybe we can see to do something about it.
It's almost
Ari
unbelievable.
will put his hand on his shoulder and cast guidance on him.
It's almost unbelievable, even still. But we did it. A boat. A metal boat that sails under the sea.
Ari's eyes get kind of wide.
Not ready yet. Not enough energy. That ability isn't ready yet.
And Trask will just look confused. It's like, what?
Yeah, Thorn's just trying to wrap his head around that concept.
We had the same look when we were first told that was what we would be making. None of us got to see all of the blueprints, just made their own parts. At the behest of the Diamond Council. They had some big scheme with it. Use it to overthrow the Pirate Lord, I think. But we sabotaged it. I could have killed the bastard. Dead. And the city wouldn't be in ruins. And my mates would still be here.
And how did you sabotage the boat?
Well, it's still intact. But there was some weaponry attached to it. We made it so it wouldn't work. But we decided to give it to him. Instead of giving it over to the Diamond Council to do what they wanted, we gave it to the good Pirate Lord, who back then was only, mostly asshole. We gave it to him. Just handed it over.
We'll make sure to tear him a new one for turning out to be a real one.
That you do. And destroy it and sink that boat of his. If you can. Just send it deep down. So no one else can ever use it.
Sink the boat that floats underwater. Good thing I have that potion of breathing underwater. Trash thinks to himself.
Well, I wish you luck in whatever path you go through. Whatever side you help or destroy them all. And I'll take serious your offer to join your caravan. I think I've kind of had enough of this place, even on the outskirts. Farewell.
Well, Rick, we hope to see you soon. Then we'll make sure to have one of the carts prepped and ready for you.
Oh, and your dwarven sign is not half bad.
Thank you. Just and I slap the Thorn on the hands as he's trying to sign. It's like, no. He's still getting the hang of it, but
As I sign attack. He just goes, I just know the important ones. And he signs attack.
Well, that's an important one, to be sure. So, as you leave his camp, we'll end there, and you've got before you some choices as to which of the evils, or at least neutrals.
Sure. Skip this ad. Just like you skipped out on buying Amazon stock and Google and Apple. Need I go on? I'm sure you think...
Alrighty, I'm ready to kick it off, get underway for this sort of sub-mini session for Wonder Workers. May not end up being mini, but well, we'll see what you do with it. So our Atkins brothers have stepped out this time, and we've got a new challenger has entered the fray. And we're going to start with just a little bit with him, and then the others will quickly come in. And let's just have you describe your character. Welcome, Alex, and who Israfel is, just a bit, and then we'll put him into play in the city of Bedrag.
Excuse me, firstly. Israfel is an Azamar warlock. He's an acolyte of the Sephiroth, and he's been in Bedrag for a while now. He's tall and kind of lanky, silvery skin and gray hair and silver eyes. He's been here since before the Diamond Council was overthrown, and dealt a little bit with that, and I really have nothing else to say.
Yeah, let's expand just a bit on the. We're introducing another one of the larger religion or deity sort of unit, the Sephiroth. Can you tell us more about that?
The Sephiroth are the ruling angels of Paradiso, one of the realms in the one of the outer realms in Atape. And each of the Sephiroth, there are 10 seats, and each of them is in charge of a different aspect of good or law. Um, 10 seats. There's Gadiel. He's the seat of Splendor, and he's in charge of uh, bringing evil to submission and the protection of good aligned beings. Zuriel is the seat of kindness. Zuriel's domain is healing and life. Uriel is the seat of severity. Uriel is in charge of arguing for justice and judgment in a necessary evil sort of a way, like war. Not just killing for justice, but she believes that mercy is not worthy to evil. The seed of understanding is Jovial. He's just he's just in charge of all the knowledge. Raziel is wisdom. Metatron represents the seat of the crown, which is just the top of everything. Working your way down the seats, there's Ariel, who is balance between all of the other seats. Saquiel is eternity, which represents that good always will win out over evil. And Laliel is the foundation of the seats. Laliel is the leader, and Matriel is kingship, representing the divine right to rule and ruling with goodness.
It's a pretty really neat concept that I was really kind of unaware of on our wikia for the world that's been developed, and so I was really excited to see that and learn more about it. And your specific seat that you follow, could you just touch on that just a little bit?
The specific seat that Israfel is related to is Splendor. He's about protecting goodness and bringing evil to submission and offering them the chance to redeem themselves through good works. He's an acolyte of Gagiel, and that's why he's in Bedrag, to help bring order, to bring law and goodness to a unstable place and to a hostile environment.
And you've been here many years now, and mostly working with essentially a soup kitchen or a small, out-of-the-way little shrine that tries to do good and help these people who are rather uncouth and not very well receptive to charity. They either mock it or dismiss it, but there are some, even in this kind of scummy world, that still need help, and the lowest of the low. And that's who you've been serving. And you've been working with one of your order. He is a halfling, and you know him to be... Does your order have particular names or titles?
Kohale is just a general priest or an aspect for clerics.
Alright, so his name is Aspect Nohan, and he's been working here for a while with you. Not from the beginning. He was sent to replace a previous Aspect who was killed in the city. But you've been working him for a good while, and for the last few days, he's been feeling or acting very sick. His stomach just aching, plaguing him. He's casting spells, and you check him, but there's really no source to it. And this morning, when you woke up to do the morning rites, and he wasn't there. He was standing outside your shared domicile and simply just looking, staring off into the distance, into the clouds, and all of a sudden his flesh just bubble over, dribble down and sort of splash into this liquidy, gooey substance, which then slithers and slimes its way towards a sewer grate. Trask and Ari are walking down the Bedrag street and see a man just pop into ooze. You've left the other two. They're going off on a side thing to investigate some more with Thorn's criminal contact, and this is what. And you see this man spontaneously ooze, and a man standing across from him, staring with mouth open. What do they see, Alex?
He's probably gonna grab his holy symbol and just start praying fervently.
And,
Just shock and awe.
and what is your character physically look like?
He's tall and he's got silver hair and silvery kind of skin, and he's got long hair and it's held back in a braid.
And upon seeing this, Trask will elbow Ari gently, but just, getting his attention. And point is saying, my friend, I think that this is more in your realm of expertise.
Is this a new day or is this the same day?
It's a little later, we'll say in the same day, or it'll be the next day, sure. This whole investigation will take just a little bit longer.
All right. Ari, having not slept well the night before, looks. Why are melting people in my area?
Well, I can melt people with my fists, but usually you're the one dealing with people falling apart. Or have you also changed that now that you're hiding your clothes?
Uh-huh.
Is Vita not interested anymore in helping people who obviously are in need of help? You can see that
Ari
he's
looks
still
at him.
peeved at how you've handled yourself here in Bedrag.
Ari looks at him and says, "You talk a lot about things you don't know about." And he looks up at the balcony and says, "Fellow, are you all right? What has happened?"
I'm not quite sure what has happened. My companion has spontaneously turned into something. That's quite clear, isn't it? He's
Yes.
clutching his holy symbol very tightly.
Well, this doesn't happen around here often, does it?
Not at all. Which is why it is suddenly my problem now.
Do you require any assistance?
Well, I would like to know why this happened, but you two don't look of the sort to know why things happen.
Oh well.
Well, we've adventured a little bit and not had that same instance happen, but why don't we talk a bit for just a moment? You mind if we come in?
Of course, please make yourself at home. I will be right down.
Ari looks over at Trask and says, "This may have something to do with those cult members."
Well, seeing on how calm he was, seeing his friend turn into goo, I probably think that there's something afoot here. So, better check it out. I know why we're not freaking out, because obviously, wonder workers.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
seen
that-
some stuff.
But I think that something like that should warrant slightly more of a freak out. But what do
There's
I
such
know
a
about people turning into goo?
Well, as Ari's opening the door and ushering him in, he says, "You know, I've heard of this medical thing. Doctors have talked about it when I was talking with them. They call it shock. Yes, when someone is surprised so much that they don't react appropriately. So there's the door as they come in.
We talk about cowardness. Oh yeah, we know that.
Israfel slowly walks down the stairs, his eyes wide, and a look of horror in them as he looks at the two. Excuse me, I am Israfel Dumain. I am an acolyte of the Sephiroth. I apologize for this. I would like to have met people in better terms.
Greetings. I myself am Trask. This is my friend Ari. And don't worry about the circumstances. It'll probably make for a good story later on.
Of course.
Is his order something that is close enough to this area that I would know about? Or this continent? Or would I need to roll for that?
Yeah, give me a religion.
And religion. 12.
All right. You are able to, you know of the name and know that it is fairly unknown. You've seen pockets of them here and there, but it's not the most common. You don't know too
Okay.
much about them other than they're pretty good. They've got more dealings with the Silver Light, specifically the Paladin Order of Vita, than your order specifically.
Would there be any connection with the fighters' orders of Darental?
Not too much, no.
So I know that they have a good reputation then.
Good, if a bit aloof, at least the ones that you've met.
Oh. So yes, I am Ari, and he extends his hand for a, normal greeting. Priest of Vita.
Israfel reluctantly takes his hand and shakes it. It is a pleasure to meet you, Priest of Vita.
Vita, yes, Vita.
They say it different in the South.
So, yeah. It's one of them things. So, what exactly went on with your friend?
The aspect was not feeling well the past several days. He tried many a cure spell and could not recover. I assumed he had just been getting ill and it was something that he couldn't take care of on his own. And then this morning, before our rites, I went to retrieve him, and this happened. He just stared off and then began to bubble away.
Quick question, my friend, and I mean no disrespect, but if you are following in D&D, I know that Darental, at times when a warrior does not uphold his tenets, likes to sap some strength in the middle of battle, just to remind him who's boss. Is that something that your clergy has to deal with too?
Israfel looks rather upset by that response and shakes his head no. I'm afraid not. While the Sephiroth are sometimes unforgiving with their wisdom, that's not something that would happen. Um, we are we are learners of Gagiel, the Sephira of splendid armor. He would surely bring us to submission and heal, not reduce us to ooze.
Okay, that sounds.
Sounds like it's possible, yes.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to worry about. Yes.
Well, we're,
Has this ever happened before that you know of? Other
Never.
individuals in the...
Never. I have been here for several years, and this is the first occurrence of it.
Several years?
Several years.
How
yes.
long? Are we talking
Around-
before or after the diamond incident?
During.
Oh, looks to Trask informative. Could you possibly help us if we help you get to a better understanding of what went on with your friend?
Any aid better than none. Yes.
if you don't mind, we examined. Well, I was going to say body, but it's probably going to be a puddle.
So I think it went down into the sewer.
It appeared to head that way, yes. Not that we ever ventured into the sewer.
Didn't we hear something about one of the cults being down in the sewer?
We did.
Did the ooze seem to direct itself down the sewer when we watched, or did it just flop down in there?
It kind of seemed like it
Yeah.
was flowing.
Just kind of flowing down in there?
And did it leave any residue on the balcony?
It left a very tiny slime trail, yes. You look and examine it.
I would like to, yes.
Yeah, you see this very thin trail of what looks like slightly orangish mucus goes all the way down the balcony and then down the street, the few feet to the sewer grate.
Flowing with the incline
Seeming so.
or against it? Okay. Do you mind if we look through your friend's belongings? Would you...
You may. The aspect and I did not keep much. Just enough to protect ourselves and make sure we were fed.
So you'd be able to tell if something was out of place in his belongings then?
No, we did not share a room. I had my own and he had his, but nothing should be too out of place. We had the barest essentials as we needed. Most of what we had went to the poor and needy.
Oh. Looks over to Trask to see what he's found.
And is there any check I could do to get a better idea of what we're dealing with? Is it medicine or nature or?
As far as the aspect of the slime or another.
Well, I'm looking at the slime now, so I would say let's start with.
Yeah, give me a nature or arcana. I'll take either.
They're the same.
Anyone with these skills can.
I'm pretty sure that this is natural slime. Yeah. Just your regular case of slime.
I can try.
really confidently.
I don't really have anything in Arcana. I've got a +2. What about our friend, our new buddy, the Asimar? What does he see in the slime?
I'm gonna roll an Arcana check if that's alright.
Roll away.
15.
All right, so you sense there's definitely some transmutative properties that your aspect's form was changed.
I'm going to relay that information to them.
Definitely, and you sense also some divine magic present within it.
I'm going to also tell them that.
I can't do that.
Can you also sense what kind of divine energy it is? Because that's a pretty general term.
I'm afraid not. It's not so cut and dry to tell who's transformed him.
Would Ari have any knowledge of background spells of that nature?
Give me
What
a
particular?
religion roll.
I can't do that.
Not all that good. A 10.
No specific ones come to mind.
Is that for all of us or just Ari?
For people following queries, if you think your character would ask that question, then make your roll.
23. He has been. He's a wise monk. He knows his dealings.
All right. So, you think you've heard of a deity that may have some slime affinity. It's sort of a subsect of Aquas.
Yeah. Didn't Marlak told us that one of those, those creepy cults here?
Mm-hmm. He did tell you that.
And I also, on one of our goings through the town, I also saw a small, out-of-the-way altar to a just an aquatic type of deity. So it's quite possible that that's a firm lead.
Perhaps we should go investigate them.
How long did did your friend have this affliction?
The past 5 days or so.
A slow change like that seems odd. Most spells happen like that, unless there's some kind of thing. Ari starts poking around underneath the bed or under the pillow and stuff like that for out of place or little token things. One of his things in his backstory was he was with another adventuring team, and I assumed that they had come from the south. So we passed by some swampy, voodoo-y type areas. So he's going to look for like a little token.
Okay, give me
might be
an
used in that type of
investigation.
situation.
Party looking around the room, investigating.
Are you telling us what you're looking for?
I'm saying, why don't we look around for something small, something out of place that doesn't seem like it would belong in a,
I can't do that.
well,
Do you
a
mean
room
like a
of this
fetish or something like that?
yes, that's a good name for it.
Not ready.
I got a 16 plus 2, so 18.
Anyone beat that?
Nope. I might have
Got a
found
Plus 5
his cookie
21.
stash.
Okay. So you two look around, and Trask doesn't get in the way, and you find a couple things. You find just general clothing, not much, humble as as Israfel said it would be. And you find a journal set on his desk, which Israfel is not surprised to see. That's there. And then underneath his pillow, you find what looks like a number of empty bottles, little flasks, like you might have a one-shotter kind of thing. This is news to Israfel that you've never seen your aspects drink. Oh, you're rolling in roll 20. Okay. Adam throws me off because he didn't do it. But now I can put this over here.
I can't do that yet.
There. So, journal, flasks, a few other personal belongings that you recognize as of his. That's not it. There. Twitch. Good. What would you like to do?
Can I take the bottles and smell them?
Yes, sniffing the bottles, it smells faintly alcoholic, but also this very tangy, fruity, citrusy smell from one of them, a somewhat putrid smell from another, and a rather biting smell from the third.
These could perhaps be the cause, though they don't smell great.
Well, perhaps this will help us find out where they came from, holding up the journal. And do I have your permission to go through this?
He nods fervently. You may.
So Ari will turn back a little bit. Probably going to about 5 days ago, or somewhere around that, maybe a day or two before, and then kind of skimming towards present time.
Okay. You go back a couple days worth, and you see, only flipping through the first couple pages, a handful of words written over and over and over again all around the edges of these pages, with 5 of them set dead in the center, and it's just each page after this. And all of them are onomatopoeia for blub, glub, yug, glug, ugg, blug. Like drippy, oozy, throbbing sounds. In the very center, and it's kind of written over and over and over again as you look at it, in kind of a similar pattern. And it is, I'll type this here, in Skype. You see this pattern repeating, og, glug, yug, glug, og. I'll put in roll 20 too. That's what you see for the last couple days.
Ari will repeat it out loud to you guys to let you know what it's sounding like. This does not sound like a prayer that your order would utter.
You are correct in that assumption.
Sounds like you after drinking of the boot yesterday.
Ari shoots him a mean glance. That was not funny.
Yes, it was. From this side.
Ah ha ha ha. I didn't sleep a wink last night.
And I turned to Israfel and say, last night this guy thought he could handle dwarven liquor.
Oh, no. Let's get this straight. Let's just get this straight. I did not think I could handle the liquor. We were being polite and drinking with the dwarf, and I asked for something not hard, and my friend here and my other friend volunteered me for the same thing that the dwarf was drinking, and to not be rude, I committed to drinking some of it, and proceeded to vomit it up.
Yeah, because that's not rude at all.
Israfel's going to stifle a small grin and just nod at them.
And talking about alcohol, do the smell of those bottles come close to what we smelled in the different types of liquor that we encountered yesterday, or does it has different qualities?
Yeah, you don't think they're exactly related. The other ones were widely varied. I guess these are too, but widely varied types of drinks. Two of these don't smell like a drink in the remoteless at all. One of them actually smells very fruity.
Would I could I assume that this was some kind of tonics trying to the man trying to heal himself, or?
Oh, none of you are particular alchemists, so hard to really put any magical or.
Well, but I'm pretty good at medicine. So
Give me a medicine then.
As am I. I could take a whiff too.
Medicine.
25 for medicine roll.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
I'm proficient with medicine.
All right. Well, you look through them and you guys talk for a bit, and Trask happens upon. None of them are poison. With a 25, I'll give you this. None of them are poison in and of themselves, but you get the feeling that this combination of you see very lingering droplets in each of them. This by itself, nothing, but together they may have some property, some effect, and not a huge logical leap to think perhaps this is the oozifying combination.
And Aziraphale, your friend, was he knowledgeable about alchemy or medicine?
Not that I am aware of. His knowledge didn't extend much outside of the divine healing spells we use.
Okay, because no matter how much divine healing you use, I wouldn't recommend taking all 3 of those together. See, there's sometimes an augmenting effect of properties if you mix the wrong things together. It's like
Ari peers a little bit more into the journal to see if he could get an idea of where he might have been getting those bottles.
All right. You go back a ways as Trask continues in Israfel continue to examine the flasks conversing together. And you flip back, and it's only about 5 days ago does this oglog yoglog stuff start happening. And before it, you kind of skim over it, and you get the sense that he was very troubled by something. He keeps writing, "She's back. She knows it's me. I hope she's not mad still for what happened." And this kind of, these musings and he's pouring himself out, these worries and fears go on for weeks previous to it. And this all sort of comes of a sudden, probably about 2 or 3 weeks worth. And then previous to that, you see just simply lists of donations taken, donations given, morning rites.
Israfel, did your friend, does your order allow, well, that wouldn't even necessarily be the case. Do you know of a female friend that your halfling might have had?
Not off the top of my head, no. Some of the poor women who did come into the kitchen and received aid were rather fond of the aspect, but no knowledge of any female acquaintances or friends or anything
And are you saying that to cover for him, or is it just...
I would hide nothing from you, or anyone. That would be a violation of our tenets, and furthermore, we were not involved in each other's lives to an extent like that. He was a very reserved man.
And you wouldn't happen to speak this language that he's writing about, or have any way of deciphering it?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm fluent in Common, Celestial, and Elvish and Gnomish.
It doesn't look like any language any of you have seen before. I mean, it's written in common script, but the alphabet is very, you've never seen words like this.
Well, let us go check that soup kitchen. We'll go with you while you let everyone know at the soup kitchen that things will be stopped for just a little bit while you're helping us work this out. How about that?
Of course, Israfel heads downstairs and heads toward the back to let everyone know who might be waiting that it will be closed for today due to some unseen circumstances.
Ari would make a point to watch people's faces while this goes on.
Okay. Oh, I gotta go check on something. Screaming baby. Talk amongst yourself just before you head back. Something will happen when you go out there. But 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back then.
We'll have to go to the